The briefing room of the UES Vigilance was deliberately cold. Not just in temperature, but in character. A single blue light emanated from the central hollow table, casting
long, sharp shadows across the Thea.
faces of my senior crew.
It was a cold light for a cold task. On the table, two icons floated in a sea of blackness.
One was a deep, angry red, a jagged beast.
Of a symbol representing the Aegis Javelin class destroyer, Unrelenting.
The other, a slender blue needle, was us.
Operation Nightfall is a go, I said, my voice cutting through the low hum of the ship's life support.
It didn't waver. It couldn't.
Intel confirms the Unrelenting has crippled another supply convoy on the Tiro-Helios line. That's 6 convoys in 2 months. They're bleeding us out, and Fleet Command's sledgehammer approach has failed.
They send cruisers, he runs. They set traps, he avoids them.
The Javelin is a bully, but it's a smart bully. My eyes scanned my crew.
Lieutenant Valerius, my pilot, stared at the holotable, his jaw tight.
Chief Engineer Jian Li had his arms crossed, his gaze distant, as if he
We're already calculating the power relays and thermal signatures we'd have to fake. They were the best. They had to be. I gestured to our icon on the table.
Command sees the Perseus as a patrol vessel, a deterrent. They are wrong.
A wolf is not a deterrent, it is a hunter. The Vigilance embodies my scalpel doctrine.
We will not engage in a brawl we cannot win.
We will not trade blows with a giant.
My hands swept across the display, and a wireframe of the Vigilance replaced the tactical map. I highlighted the forward torpedo bays and the 2 massive dorsal turrets. Our advantage is not endurance. It is the application of overwhelming, concentrated violence in a single, perfectly executed moment.
20 Spinala size 5 torpedoes are not for suppression. They are for shattering shields and breaking spines. Our twin size 7 Beowulf cannons are not for skirmishing. They are for anatomical dissection.
These are an assassin's tools, and we will use them as such.
I let the weight of that statement settle in the cold air.
But this ship, I continued, collapsing the wireframe, is a glass scalpel.
Our armor will not withstand a sustained barrage.
Our shields will buckle under the Javelin's main guns. Our success and our survival depends on absolute perfection.
We will be ghosts in the void, running on the edge of life.
Support, unheard and unseen, until the precise moment we choose to become gods.
I looked each of them in the eye. There is no margin for error. Every one of you must execute your role with 0 deviation from the plan. Valerius, you will.
Jian, you will make us invisible. And when the time comes...
I wadded to my gunnery chief. You will make us a nightmare. Dismissed.
3 days. For 72 hours, the Vigilance was a tomb. We plunged into the Themis Belt, a graveyard of shattered moons and drifting iron. On the bridge, all non-essential systems were dark.
The air grew thin and cold. The air...
Life support reduced. Into a faint whisper.
My only light was the ghostly glow of the tactical.
This was the first phase of my plan. Absolute sensory deprivation.
We would become just another cold rock in a field of a million others. Every boot step on the deck plating sounded.
Like a drumbeat in the oppressive silence.
Down in engineering, Jian Li was performing a dangerous ballet with the ship's core systems.
He wasn't just flicking switches, he was physically rerouting coolant pipes, creating a
closed loop that would vent our heat into a series of internal sinks.
It was a stressful, painstaking process, that.
turned our engine room into a pressure cooker.
Bridge, engineering. His voice crackled over the low-power comm, strained. We're running out of room to hide the heat, Commander. We need to find our target soon. Acknowledged, Chief. I replied.
Own voice. A low murmur.
Stay the course.
My gaze shifted to Corporal Sharma at the sensor station.
Her face illuminated by the green waterfall of her acoustic display.
She wore a heavy set of headphones, not listening for.
Sound, but for the echoes of energy signatures in the void. For 3 days, all she had heard was the hiss of solar winds and the pop crackle of distant quasars.
Until now, her head tilted.
A gloved finger tapped a control, isolating a thread of data.
Commander, I have something. Faint. It's the right frequency for a military-grade quantum drive.
She worked for another moment. It's him, the Unrelenting. Bearing 274, moving slow, arrogant. He's not even trying to hide. A grim smile touched my lips. Predictable.
Then, a new alert chimed, sharp and unwelcome.
Sharma stiffened.
Not a pirate, not an enemy, but a mindless variable my plan hadn't accounted for.
Its patrol vector would bring its active scanner.
Right across our position in less than 3 minutes.
Standard doctrine was to power down completely, to play dead.
But a dead ship is still a ship. The drone would see us.
All hands, brace for active scan, I ordered.
My knuckles white on the armrest of my chair.
Chaos. That unpredictable element I feared.
Was staring us in the face. Commander, a standard power down won't work. Jian's voice cut in. Urgent. Its scanner is programmed to flag inert metallic objects over 50 meters. We're a 100-meter block of iron. It will see us. He paused. Permission to try something unorthodox?
This was it. The moment a plan breaks.
Go on, Chief. Request permission to vent raw plasma coolant directly from the primary manifold.
I can time the particle burst to mimic the signature of a Class C asteroid outgassing as it hits the sunline.
It's a 1 in 1,000 shot, but the drone's software is programmed to ignore those geological anomalies.
1,000 to 1. A gamble. Everything my doctrine was built to avoid.
The drone's proximity alarm began to beep softly. 2 minutes.
Do it, Jian, I said, the words feeling foreign in my mouth. Make us a rock.
The ship groaned as a valve deep in its guts was forced open.
On Sharma's screen, the drone scan painted a line off.
Energy across the sector, sweeping closer, closer. It washed over our position.
Then, Sharma exhaled, a ragged gasp of relief. Scan complete, she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. It's moving on. Commander, it didn't see us. It bought the fake signature. A collective, unspoken sigh rippled through the bridge crew. I allowed myself a single, slow blink.
We had stared into the abyss of chance, and it had looked away.
Good work, Chief, I transmitted, the 2 words carrying more weight than a full commendation. My plan was still intact, but it was no longer just my own. It now belonged to the instincts of my crew. Sharma turned back to her console. Commander, she said, her voice now steady, regained.
The Unrelenting.
He is changing course.
He is heading for the asteroid cluster at Nav Point Sierra, just like you predicted.
The hunt was back on. One was a deep, angry red, a jagged beast.
that off my...
Here, on my terms, we came alive. Power surged through the ship, the bridge humming with readiness.
The cold silence was replaced by the focused energy of
a predator waiting for its prey to walk into the trap.
We didn't have to wait long.
Right on schedule, a tear in space-time shimmered.
Into existence, and the Unrelenting slid into the void. It was a leviathan of steel and guns, its navigation lights blazing with an arrogance that bordered on suicidal. It lumbered into the asteroid field, its sensors likely tuned for ships. Of its own size, completely blind to the needle hidden in the haystack.
Target is in the kill box. I'm 210.
Late. Valerius confirmed. His
voice barely a whisper.
Gunnery, I commanded, my eyes locked on the tactical plot.
Confirm targeting solutions for all 20 Spinala torpedoes. Target their shield generators and bridge.
A calm voice replied in my ear. Solutions locked. They're painted. Master arm is hot, Commander.
This was the moment. The culmination of every calculation, every risk.
The single, perfect application of violence.
My own heartbeat was a slow, steady drum. On my mark.
3, 2, 1. Fire. There was no fire, no thunder from our hull.
Just a series of soft, percussive thumps as 20. Silent.
Whispers of death. Detached and
accelerated towards the unsuspecting giant.
On my screen, 20 blue icons crawled across the black, closing the distance. The longest 10 seconds of my life. And then, the void lit up. Impact.
Sharma screamed, her professionalism cracking for a half second. Multiple detonations across the bow and starboard side.
Shields are gone! I repeat, the Javelin's shields are G-O-N-E!
I allowed myself a glimpse on the main view screen.
The Javelin, once a pristine symbol of power, was now wreathed in the ghostly blue fire. Of its collapsing shields, its hull already pocked with the first savage bites from our torpedoes. Deep inside that metal beast, I knew what was happening.
A car! Their nightmare had begun. But I wasn't done. This wasn't a warning shot. Valerius, bring us about!
Show them our teeth. Gunnery, you have firing solutions for the Beowulfs. Target their primary thrusters.
Decapitate it! This time, there was thunder.
bone-jarring.
Huge, molten gashes were torn across the Javelin's stern.
Its main engines sputtered, glowed an angry red, and then die. The giant was crippled, adrift.
My plan had worked. Almost. A new set of alarms blared from Sharma's console.
Commander!
Multiple launch alerts. It's fighters. He's deploying his fighter wing. 6 of them. Chaos.
The monster was fighting back. It wasn't supposed to have time to react.
My perfect, sterile plan was now officially a dirty, desperate dogfight.
Long coiled in my gut, cold and sharp.
But then I looked at my crew.
I saw their focused faces, their hands moving with practiced certainty. They were ready.
I had to be too. The rigid tactician in me died in that second.
The commander took over. Valerius, evasive maneuvers. Use the asteroids for cover.
Give me a profile that keeps our belly away from those hornets. My voice was sharp, clear. Gunnery, retask the remote turrets.
Defensive fire, I want a wall of flak between us and those fighters, now.
The smaller turrets roared to life, spitting a storm of metal into the void.
Main guns, I commanded, my eyes never leaving the wounded Javelin. Stay on target! Don't let up!
Break it. The battle became a symphony of controlled chaos.
Valerius danced the Vigilance through the rock field, a feat of piloting I wouldn't have thought possible.
Our flak cannons tore one of the fighters to shreds, while
the others swarmed, their laser fire splashing harmlessly against spinning asteroids.
And through it all, the Beowulfs continued their thump, thump, thump.
They hammered the Javelin's spine, seeking a weakness. They found it.
A secondary explosion blossomed from its midsection, a chain reaction cascading through its hull. The Javelin's back broke. Its lights flickered and died. The Leviathan was dead. The silence that followed the final explosion was heavier than anything that had come before.
On the main view screen, the Javelin Unrelenting was no more.
In its place was a tomb of twisted metal.
Venting its last wisps of atmosphere into the void. It drifted silently, a monument to a bully's broken pride.
The 6 fighters that had swarmed us were either vaporized
or had scattered like frightened birds, their leader now a corpse. The battle was over. On my bridge, no one cheered.
There was only the sound of ragged breathing. And the soft, steady chime of damage control alerts.
My perfect plan lay in tatters around me.
But we were alive, and the giant was dead.
The chaos I had so deeply feared.
Had come, and it had been met.
Not by my rigid doctrine, but by the fluid, unbreakable will of my crew.
Damage report, I ordered, my voice quiet but firm.
Armor is scarred on the port side, Commander, Valerius reported, his hands still gripping his controls.
Remote turret 2 is offline. But the core is stable. The Beowulfs are green.
We're hurt, Commander, but we're alive.
I looked at the wreckage, at the ghost of the Leviathan, and I felt not triumph, but a profound, humbling respect. My calculations had brought the enemy to our doorstep, but it was.
Their instincts that had kicked the door in and finished the fight.
Gian, I said, opening a channel to engineering.
That unorthodox idea with the coolant vents saved.
This ship before the first shot was even fired.
Thank you. Just doing my job, Commander, he replied, his voice thick with exhaustion.
Valerius, I said, turning my head to my pilot.
That was the finest flying I have ever witnessed. He simply nodded, his eyes still fixed on the starfield.
To the gunnery chief, I added, your team's adaptability under fire was exemplary.
As our damage control teams worked, a flicker of data crossed Sharma's screen.
Commander, I'm picking up fragmented transmissions. UEE network.
It's from the Javelin's escape pods, and the patrol drone that passed us, its black box, is screaming.
They're all talking. They don't know what hit them.
One pilot is calling us a phantom.
Ghost ship that came out of the rock itself.
A ghost. A nightmare. The legend was already being written.
I looked at the reflection of my own face.
In the view screen, superimposed over the carcass of our prey.
The scalpel doctrine had been proven, but I had learned a deeper truth.
The Perseus wasn't just a collection of torpedo bays and heavy cannons. It was a promise.
A promise that in the hands of a disciplined
crew, a scalpel could be far deadlier than a sledgehammer.
That a focused whisper could be more terrifying than a mindless roar.
Valerius, I said, my voice finding its strength again. Take us home.
The story of the Vigilance is more than just a tale of steel and firepower. It's a profound lesson about the nature of strength and control.
in our lives and careers.
We often strive to be like Commander Rostova at the beginning.
Of her mission, believing that victory lies in a flawless plan.
A perfect sequence of events we can manage from start to finish.
We build walls of strategy and procedure to protect ourselves from the chaos of the unknown.
Trusting the blueprint more than the builders.
Already. But her plan, as brilliant as it was
only enough to get her to the fight.
The battle was won in the moments she lost control.
The moments her pilot had to fly on pure instinct.
Her engineer had to gamble on an unorthodox solution.
Her gunners had to adapt to a swarm of unexpected threats.
She discovered that the ultimate strength isn't found
in a rigid, unbreakable strategy that anticipates every outcome.
It is found in building a team so skilled.
Trusted that they can excel in the chaos where all plans fail.
True leadership, whether on the bridge of a
isn't about commanding perfect machines.
It's about empowering imperfect, brilliant people to be their best when the worst happens. The most powerful weapon in her arsenal wasn't a torpedo or a cannon. It was trust.
These are the kinds of deep human truths we love exploring within the grand scale of science fiction.
Of thinkers, dreamers, and strategists as we continue to search for meaning in the stars. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us today.
May your plans always be sound. And may the
people you trust to execute them be even better.
Tay.